Welcome back to Grover, and rather than go into the collection today, I thought I'd bring you with me to a remote location. But before we get into that, I wanted to go over today's concept or character trait, and we decided to center in on the American dream. And look, I understand that the American dream is not really a character trait. It's rather a conglomerate of character traits that makes up this concept. These ideas of independence, innovativeness, being hardworking, opportunity, and chance, all coming together to advance an individual's place in life, right? And it's all on that individual. That person pulls themselves up by the bootstraps to succeed. Rather than focusing on it in that manner, we wanted to talk a little bit about Horatio Alger's version of the American Dream. And Horatio Alger was an author in the 1860s who wrote Ragged Dick. And in his books, including Ragged Dick, the protagonist is usually in this low-paying job or they're homeless, and through hard work, determination, a strong moral compass, and a little bit of good fortune and luck, is able to go from rags to, while maybe not riches, at least respectability. And so today, as we embark on this journey, as we get ready to go over to the location, just keep that in the front of your mind in this very special episode of the Charles Davis Mansion, and a really special thank you to the Nicholsons for allowing us to use this place today to tell his story. Before we look at the rest of the house, and we will later on in the video, I think it's important to sort of explore and understand the man that made this place possible, sort of what it took for him, where he came from, and how he got to the level of success that made this house kind of come into being. The man, of course, was Charles Davis, and Mr. Davis was originally born and from Ohio. In 1884, when he was just 16 years old, he moves out of his parents' place and on his own. He is virtually penniless, has nothing to his name, and he begins working at the Conrey-Birley Table Company here in Shelbyville. This is also the first year that the Conrey-Birley Company sort of opens. And so he starts off at the very bottom of the totem pole, working as a sweeper of the wood shavings on the production floor. Now, it's really important to note that this is where the, Horatio Alger aspect comes into play. That while he was, broke, that he didn't have much to his name, that he was sort of just getting by, he was being given an opportunity. And that opportunity came through the Conroy side of it. His mother was a Conroy, and so he was able to start at that entry level because of his family ties. Now, over the course of the next 4 to 5 years, we see Mr. Davis sort of just gradually climbing that corporate ladder, if you will, until he's able to become the president of sales. Now, I think it's really easy to be a naysayer and say, he was probably just given that position because of his relationship to the one owner in the company. But I think it's important to note that he certainly proved his merit. And in fact, in the Chicago Trade magazine, they noted that Charles Davis was one of, if not the best furniture salesman in all of the United States. So he continuously was showing just how skilled he was, that he deserved the spot that he had kind of earned. It was also during his rise at that company that that the company itself, the Conrey-Birley Company, becomes the largest table manufacturer in the world. In fact, they have over 500 employees. They're just super, super successful at this point. During that same time, as he's kind of becoming more successful in his on the business side, he's also developing a personal life. And in 1892, he marries his wife Edith Clark, and then a couple years later, they have their first son, Ernest. And then a few years after that, they have their second son, Charles Jr., also known as Louis. So while his family, both of these things are happening at the same time. He's developing a personal life, he's developing a business side of things. And in 1898, both of those sort of trajectories kind of peak for him. He is able to land one of the largest sales that Davis had ever had at that point. And he's able to get a 1,500 table deal to a firm out in London, England, which is just unprecedented. This really wasn't something that happened at that time period. Really an amazing feat. That same year, he begins building this place here. Years after that, so after this really successful moment in 1901, Davis once again shows that he hasn't quite peaked yet, and in fact becomes the majority owner of the company, as well as the president of the company. And it's during that year, in 1901, that he changes the company to the Davis-Birely Table Company. And the success sort of just keeps on happening. In fact, he's able to travel all over the world during those years, and in 1906, he purchases the most expensive automobile in all of Shelby County. It's actually noted in one of the history books as being the most expensive automobile in the county at that time. It was $5,000. It was a peerless automobile. It was actually the first year that they had released this. And so really, really successful. Everything's going really, really well. And then it kind of comes to an abrupt halt. In 1911, Mr. Davis passes away unexpectedly. And while this was a huge loss, I think it's important to note that his legacy remained at that company. In fact, the company remained the Davis-Birely Table Company up until 1938 when they finally closed. And the employees were incredibly loyal to the company. In fact, a lot of the ones that had started with Mr. Davis had stuck the whole way through. Charles Birely, his partner at the furniture company, was really instrumental in helping develop a group insurance program for their company, which was just unheard of at the time. I mean, it was accident protection, life insurance, health insurance, and this went to 97% of their employees. So they really cared about their employees. They really cared about investing in that company's success at both ends, the production level and at the human level. The house itself was leased by D. Ray Depry in 1919. And just shortly after that, Edith, Charles Davis's wife, passes away at 51. So she wasn't much longer after her husband. Then in 1923, 1924, the Deprys officially purchased the house, and some of the features that you see in the house were brought in by that family. Today, the house sort of stands as this representation of what can be accomplished with grit, with innovation, and frankly, with a little help from those that can offer it. And so then I want to extend it to you. I'd love to hear a story of success that you guys have heard or have on any level. Let us know in the comments below. Send us a message. We'd love to hear those. We'd love to get those archived in our collection. Until then, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys stay healthy, you stay well, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.